They're accepting bids for the franchise starting
finally.
a week from tomorrow. So this is finally, we've been waiting. It's kind of been under the cloak of secrecy. Is it happening? Is it not happening? We finally have a definitive step. They vetted the possibilities, and the owners are stepping up next week.
Do we think it's going to move? Because nothing has moved quickly with this, and it's all been very secretive. Do we think it's going to all of a sudden hit an accelerator?
But can it? Isn't that interesting?
It should.
We'll get at least
it can move fast. The selling of a team can move fast.
If someone comes in with a crazy bid, wouldn't you move quick to what's?
I just didn't know if that's the league slows it down.
These things typically go quick.
They do. Okay.
I feel again, I'm just looking back on the way it's played out in other cities. It's usually the announcement happens. You hear the prospective bidders, and then once the offers start,
month or two later,
it's go. Which is why this one has been a little weird, where it's been, hey, we just won a championship 24 hours ago. We're selling the team.
Wyc's hanging on with his
100%, and understandably so. I keep telling this to people. I completely get it. And
cat's out of the bag.
Understandable, but look, they should win another one this year.
Yeah, here's my thing, Chris, is about Wyc Grousbeck. Is I do feel bad for him. Money can't cure everything. He had his dream last year, and it's a great dream. And he is a strange guy, but he is to what I've seen.
We're all strange.
Not the other one. Not the other owner.
Pagliuca?
I
love them all, so I'm biased.
I didn't say I don't like Wyc.
No. I just think
he's.
Everyone
you know what I'm saying. He's not as engaging as Pagliola.
For sure.
And so, which is odd because he's the one out in front. You wouldn't think he would be one, but he has the parade in his hometown, the team that he loves. He's holding the trophy.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally in front of there millions of adoring people. The adulation. And then 2 days later, the rug gets ripped out from under him.
It sucks.
So it sucks, but you had that. You already had that. So anyway.
But you always want to be a part of it. I do hope that in some form or fashion he can remain around it. But it's not.
But he can't be the voice of the team anymore.
Right. It will never be the same.
No, he can sit courtside.
And I know and I think he's expressed that he wants to be sort of that governor position until 2028 or something like that.
That's no way that happens.
Right. And
not a chance.
I don't understand how that could play itself out, but I guess if you make that a stipulation, I don't know. That is the fascination to me, is exactly how that all plays out. But usually, new owner comes in and says, thank you. Here's how things are going to be done.
Yeah, this is mine. It's not yours.
Yeah, why would I let you?
On.
Yeah, pretend to be the owner. I'm the owner. And even if I was a quiet guy, I don't want you running around pretending to be the owner.
But no, now we have some interesting storylines. A, how much is it going to go for? But B, are the Celtics going to stay in their current building? If I'm a new owner, I don't want to be a tenant. I want my own place. 100%. I want to capitalize on all the concessions and all the parking and all that. Yeah,
but be careful with that as a fan, because they move to their own building. That's not good chance that's not in the city.
Sure. Because there's
that's
no
the
room.
And we can tell you, Hardy and I, from experience, that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's bad for the team, and it's no good. When they move out of the city, teams, it takes a lot away from it. It really does.
You didn't love Auburn Hills? Or
no one did. And it was a horrible idea, and it was bad for the franchise, 100%. And they had to move back to the city.
And it's great now.
And now it's great, yeah.
Little
Caesars is great. So I've finally been there, but the point, but Detroit's different. I understand they give the land away. But it's much easier to do it there.
There's just no room anywhere.
Yeah, in Boston, but that's the thing, is that in Boston there's no room. So if
there's always a way.
There is always a way, sure, but there is a good chance if they want their. Would you agree? I might be wrong, Chris.
No, 100%. I think any owner, even going into it, part of the reason the value might not be as high as they could, in a vacuum could get, is because they don't own the building, and the new owner is going to have to put money into figuring that out.
Yeah, it's $4 billion for the team, and then an extra $500 million to build a new facility somewhere or more.
Oh no, John, $500 million to build a new facility.
Actually, you know what? Ballmer just spent $1 billion in LA, so it's probably more.
Oh yeah, over $1 billion to build a new stadium.
$4 billion for the team, another $1 billion for the facility, $1.5 billion for the facility if you want to make it state of the art and beat everybody else in the league.
And then you get in a peeing contest with every mayor of every town, and and then
look what just happened in Philadelphia. I mean, Jesus, they wanted to move downtown and now can't, and now now they're going to move back to where they're going to build the new facility right where the old one
Yeah,
is.
John is talking about in Philadelphia, there was this big, huge deal about them moving to what part of the town? Chinatown in Philadelphia, and then the people in Chinatown didn't want it. It was this big fight, and then so they just went, okay. And they're moving back to that parking
yesterday
lot.
they're moving it actually into a $1.5 billion facility they're going to build right behind the Wells Fargo Center.
I mean, I do
At least that's in the city. It's
sort of.
I love their complex.
You do? I don't. I like when this. I like where the Garden is. I like where Fenway is better, but like the Garden
downtown is always better. But I do like that maybe because we're so spread out, Foxborough and
well, Foxborough shouldn't be in Foxborough.
Right.
But go ahead.
But I do love that if you're going to the Phillies or the Flyers or the Sixers, like everything's right.
And they've
there.
done a good job about making it like an experience.
You can park if there's no other games. You can park in any of the three parking lots.
And now they have like these like malls of food courts and everything. Like I've been there a bunch of times, but Who should Celtics fans, not a particular person, but like what kind of owner should Celtics fans, in your opinion, be keeping an eye on and want? Ideally.
Deep pockets so you can pay for the roster, but with some sort of connection or with some at least ability. It's never going to be like Wyc and Steve, where they were just fully invested in this, in the history and the city, and that's not to say like some billionaire who is in California couldn't understand the legacy, the history, and all that, but it has to be rooted in, like, you have to understand what this team means, what the city, like how they embrace it, and as long as they understand that and can pay for a roster, it'll be fine.
Okay,
but it's weird. That's a hard two boxes to check at the same time.
Yeah. Okay. So does Steve Pagliuca have a chance?
It's fascinating because I asked this to everybody, and I suspect he is looking for a group that can help with the funding. But there's always someone out there that just has more money, right? Like the part of this ownership group was that they just didn't have the resources of a Steve Ballmer or some of these other billionaire owners. And so it all depends on if someone from the outside really wants this thing and swoops in, it's going to be tough. But if it stays reasonable, I hope he can find a way, because that's the perfect storm, right? Where you got someone who's part of the legacy, who understands and gets it and now has the money. But it can't just be enough to get the thing. It has to be enough to sustain the cost of this roster. And that's going to be, I hope he finds the right people.
Yeah, and he's got to be, I guess, a little bit careful of what he wishes for here, because if the current ownership has some mind to hand the team over to somebody who understands all that and is going to do it, might even take a little bit less. There might be that
they're not taking less.
But there could be that bid that's at least equivalent or even a tiny bit. But you know what? They're going to do it the right way. They're going to do it the right way. It's going to be really expensive to do it that right way.
Yeah. You don't sell the team unless you're trying to get every dollar you can get, right? And that's business. Like, there's a reason the Grousbeck family is where they are, right?
If there's a difference of $500 million, yeah, I get it. But if you're like, $50 million apart, if it's $100 million apart, you don't think they would lean toward a group led by Pagliuca and someone who's going to continue on?
I think they would. I think you would love to do it that way, and that's like very pie in the sky kind of thinking. But I do think I don't know what the magic number is. If it's $5, yeah, of course. But like you would think that if
what if they wrote a nice letter? Like you're trying to get.
Are you trying to get an apartment?
Yeah.
Calligraphy. Just to make it look
and
all
include
pretty.
a picture of the kids.
I wonder how much of that actually happens. Like how much can a personal appeal?
There's a number. I don't know what the number is either. When you're talking about what's the projected?
I would hope.
What's the projected sale price?
$6
billion.
Yeah, something like. I mean, I went high, and then people said it would be lower because they don't own the arena. But it's going to be ridiculous. Like
it's going to be way lower. That I think that magic number way lower than 10% of the total sale price. It can't be. Well,
the Boston Celtics do not go for sale very often, and so I'm just saying. And of any franchise like that, you can get a basketball team. The Timberwolves to go up for sale, and even that's been a process.
Right.
But the Celtics are it's gonna take some money.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chris, it's an exciting time for the Celtics and a bad time for Grousbeck, as he will have to give up But he will get to stay in charge for the rest of his life. That's part of the sale, is that you let me pretend to be owner for the rest of the life. That's what I'll be doing. All right, Chris. Listen, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you guys.
Is there any? You and Hardy were talking about wedges when I first moved.
Yeah.
When I first came in.
Well, we were talking about the folly of hitting a full wedge, and I believe it was Ben Hogan who said anybody who swings as hard as they can with a wedge, I want to play him for money. And Chris gave me a knowing look. He's like smiling. He's like, it's so true, you know.
As someone who reaches way too often for the 60-degree wedge, I'm guilty. I love myself a good flop shot.
You know what? When you and I finally get out there, I'll let you take
magical.
the 62-degree for a spin.
Ooh,
Want to have
boy.
some fun?
Whoa!
So, you know, and when it was suggested to me by the PXG guys, I'm like, "What the hell is this club for?" And they said, "It's for fun." And
Have you
it's
seen
fun.
the 70?
No, come on.
It's
Now it's too much. Now he's gone too far.
7-minute abs, not 6-minute.
70-degree wedge. Don't do that.
I'm just saying. I've seen it out there. Are we going to Boston Calling? You guys were giving away tickets last week, right?
I want to see Public Enemy.
Ooh.
Yeah, there are a lot of sneaky good bands that
I'll be
aren't
there,
in
Chris.
capital letters there.
Yeah.
On the
12
bill.
will go with you.
Buy a
For the whole
Heineken.
thing.
Flavor Flav showed up at
Okay, he'll do it.
the Pacers series.
Oh yeah.
He was squired about like a celebrity, and then I think
He is a, what do you mean? Like he is a celebrity.
Well, he is, but
Flavor Flav
I
on the
think
hot
there's
tip.
still a disconnect between the modern generation and like if Drake shows up, everyone knows Drake. I don't know if necessarily.
I you know what I like about Drake is how he gets to get on the court and hug everyone during the games and
is
make
nice.
himself a part of everything.
That is nice.
Will he be there tonight?
Oh God, I hope so.
I think he's out of the public eye right now. The
Oh,
Kendrick
really?
thing
That's too
is.
bad.
No, he just recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just
Resurfaced?
the other day was at a
Yeah.
No, the Kendrick thing is not good for him.
Not good enough.
No, he failed miserably. Kendrick played that brilliantly, and now he's doing the Super Bowl in a stadium tour that I'm taking my daughter to. But yeah, Drake they showed it the other day on ESPN. It might have been yesterday. He was out dancing around on a. Who'd they just beat? Toronto.
Oh,
Golden State.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess during that game he was there and he was like running around and slapping the coach on the ass and hugging players during the game and
I am
laying down
sometimes-
at half court.
He goes on their broadcast. Like I'm actually kind of jealous. Like I've always said, we need a Boston celebrity that we can.
Toronto's a big city, like enough Drake. Like you got enough that came from there. Like you don't. Like Eminem's at every Lions game. He's not like running around on the field during the game and like catching balls.
Fair.
He's not sitting on Campbell's shoulders.
The Canadians are too nice.
Yeah, but enough. I don't like when like Spike Lee would jaw with the players, but he wasn't dancing around on the bench and stuff. Like it's enough.
Yeah, let's get the kids in the hall guys out there, storming the court.
They're not from Toronto. The guy with the afro is from Winnipeg. You'd know if you talk to the guy.
Stupid.
Kevin?
Kevin. Yeah. If Geddy Lee wants to go to it, like Geddy Lee can take batting practice with the Blue Jays. If he
I
wants
missed
to.
him. He's not been a fixture at those Blue Jays games anymore.
I have him in hiding since the death of Piet.
Yeah.
But Lyson and I may join forces again, but it will not be called rush, but it will be progressive and hard, and only for men. All right, Chris Forsberg, thank you so much for the time.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.